This is a short video about relative package imports in Python, which might sound relatively or even absolutely boring, but it's actually really important. I'm learning this coming from how do we add good software engineering practices to ML, so no more spaghetti code in notebooks. Instead, we want to have modular code that makes it easier for people to reuse, to share, so we can actually work together, stop being so selfish. And in my example here on the left, I have what looks like the beginnings, the barest bones of a decent structure. So I've got this project. I have a source directory I called foo. Within that, I have a directory called models where I have all my model code and a directory called tests. By no means complete. It's all fake, but it's a good start. Now let's take a quick look at the code. So we've got this little model function. Again, we're hand waving a test function that just imports it, and a top level run file so that the end user of this code can just run one thing and they don't have to jump into the individual projects or individual packages to actually get their code to work. So let's kick this off and make sure our run file actually works. Yes, it does. I get this print statement. Great. But when I now want to run this test file, like what's the problem? What are you getting at here? Well, I want to run this test that's going to import from the models directory from that package. Let's see what happens when we do that. And I get no module found named foo. So when I come over to the Python docs, here we go. What I see is in the documentation under packages, they say, hey, look, here's an example. You can set this up. Top level init.py, each of your sub packages with their own init.pys. And it says you can use absolute imports to refer to submodules of sibling packages. For example, if you want to use something in sound.filters, you can then use, and if you're in this file and you want to use the echo module, which is up here, you can say from sound.effects import echo. I think this is what I'm doing. I haven't been able to figure this out, but thanks to an amazing Stack Overflow answer, and again, I'm sure lots of people knew this, I just learned it, we can use something called a setup.py file to save the day. So what I did at the top level now, we have this file called setup.py, and then we're importing setup and find packages from setup tools. We can give this a name. We'll call it GusML. I could give it a version 1.0. This is the key step, find packages. When we execute it, when we run this code in the setup.py file, it will find all of those relative packages. And the way we do this is by running pip install -e for, I think, an interactive installation. And then I'm going to use dot to say, do it for this directory, starting right here. Excellent. Now if we go back and rerun our test file, it works. So moral of the story, I still don't understand why this doesn't work. Somebody knows. I don't know. What I do know is the setup.py approach works really well. And you see this pattern a lot in projects, especially like in Dagster, pip install -e for the interactive use of your packages so we can continue to edit them as we install. Hope you found this useful. As always, more to come from me.